Welcome and good morning, everyone. We're so excited to have you join us. We'll probably wait another 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll go ahead and get started just to allow for those who want to join us to get out of the waiting room and find the link. Okay, we'll probably wait just 1 more minute and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Well, first let's start off with some introductions just so you can put names to faces here. My name is Zane. I am the CSU chapter Psi Chi president, and we also have Sophia. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, as well as Emily, Carla, Alondra, and then Tracy. So each of you, if you want to introduce yourself and who you are before we get started.
I'll go. Did you want me to start?
Sure.
I'm Carla Gingrich, and I am one of the faculty advisors for Psi Chi and PSA.
I'm Sophia, and I'm the Psi Chi Vice President.
My name is Emily, and I am the Psychology Student Alliance President.
My name's Alondra, and I'm the PSA Vice President.
And I'm Tracy Richards, and I am the Associate Chair for Undergraduate Affairs, and I'm here today as a member of the Diversity and Inclusion team who helped plan this week, and we wanted to be sure to be at the event to meet everyone.
Sounds good. Thank you all. So welcome, everyone. We're super excited to have you. Obviously, you're interested in Psi Chi and PSA, and we're going to tell you all about both clubs today. I'm going to go ahead and have Sophia start sharing the PowerPoint, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Please feel free to put any questions you have in the chat or just interrupt us. Unmute yourself and interrupt with any questions you may have throughout the presentation, and we'd be happy to answer them. I'm going to hand it over to Sophia to go ahead and share the PowerPoint.
Cool, thanks, Zane. I'm going to share that really quick. Okay, can everybody see it in its entirety as the full screen? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So again, thank you guys so much for coming. We're excited to hear that you're interested in Psi Chi and PSA. It's a great club. So I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit more about it, some of the requirements, and kind of what we've been doing this semester with COVID and what we've done in the past. So first, what is Psi Chi? Psi Chi is our International Honor Society in Psychology. So with that, there are a few requirements. First, you should be enrolled with a major or a minor in psychology or in a program that's psychological in nature. You should also have completed 3 semesters worth of college credits. So that would probably be your sophomore year, which equates to about 45 credits. And then you also want to have completed 9 credits worth of psychology courses. And as for the GPA requirement, it's always the top 35% of students in the College of Natural Sciences. So right now that's a 3.4. So there's also some dues for Psi Chi. It's $65 total. $10 will go to us. So that will pay for things like guest speakers. If we want to fly someone, obviously not right now with COVID, but if we were to um, cover travel expenses for someone who's flying in, a guest speaker. So that's part of the dues. Food for our events, anything like that. And then the $55 are the national dues. So those are sent to the Psi Chi office. And once you pay that $65, you do have a lifetime membership in Psi Chi. So that's pretty cool. The application deadline was on Monday, which was yesterday, but because there was a snow day, there was a lot of cancellations. So we're kind of making some adjustments today. If you're still interested and able to apply to Psi Chi, if you meet those requirements, you can still apply today and we will accept your application. And we will also be accepting applications for next semester.
Really quickly, Sophie, I do just want to say that if you are interested in joining Psi Chi, I'm going to go ahead and put the Psi Chi email as well as my email in the chat. Please email both or one or the other, I should say, if you are interested, so I can send you all the links that you need as well as all the directions that would be helpful in applying. But again, as Sophia said, today is kind of that day of the our extended deadline, I should say, for Psi Chi applications. So if you are interested, today's the day to do it. However, we do accept applications in both the fall semester and the spring semester, as Sophia said. So if you're unsure about it this semester, or consider it again next semester.
Yes, thank you. Oh no, I just muted myself. There we go. Okay, so what is PSA? So there's no requirements for PSA. There's no GPA requirement, no major requirement, anything like that. So even if you're not a psychology major, you can still join. And we were just talking about the Psi Chi applications, but for PSA, there's no deadline. You can apply at any time. So whether it's today, next week, whenever, you can do that. Okay, there we go. A common question that we get a lot is, what is the difference between Psi Chi and PSA? And there really is no difference, except for with Psi Chi, you get that lifetime membership and you have that recognition as being a part of an international honor society. And Psi Chi has some perks to it. They have like benefits and there's some scholarships. So that's definitely a perk of joining Psi Chi. But as far as joining either club, we host the same meetings, the same events, same guest speakers, the officer meetings, etc. You have access to all of that, regardless of if you're in Psi Chi or PSA. And then what the time commitment looks like, there's no set time commitments, but we just try to encourage you to attend as many events as you can. So if there's something that you can't make, like if you can't make one of the member meetings, that's totally fine. But again, we do encourage you to try and go to all of our events and our meetings just so that you're getting the most bang for your buck, I guess.
Hey, Sophia, do you mind if I jump in with something really
Yeah,
fast too?
go ahead.
So something we forgot to include in our slides is the difference in fees between Psi Chi and PSA. So for Psi Chi, it's that 55 plus the 10, but for PSA, this semester, it's only $10. Normally it would be $20, but since we aren't able to offer all of y'all the same experiences, it's a bit lower this year. So for PSA, it is a lot cheaper than Psi Chi because we don't have those international dues. It's just $10.
And branching off of that really quick, those PSA fees cover your entire time. It's like a CSU lifetime membership, so it covers your entire time here at CSU.
Yeah, those are all really good things to add. It's nice that you only have to pay once and then you don't have to worry about it. So thank you guys. So now kind of introducing our officers a little more. We kind of talked about them in the intro, but if you guys just want to go through, I can just say mine really quick. So again, I'm Sophia. I'm the Psi Chi Vice President. I'm a general concentration in psychology. And I don't know, do we want to say our years maybe too? Okay, so yeah, I'm a fourth year. So yeah.
Sorry, that's
Zane,
my
do you want to just go in order?
Yep.
Cool.
My name is Zane again. I'm the Psi Chi president. My concentration's in clinical counseling, and I am super interested in trauma in children and adolescents. I've done some work in campus connections as well as C-Track, and I'm looking at going to grad school to become a school psychologist.
So again, my name is Emily. I'm the PSA president. I have a clinical counseling concentration. My goal is to attend grad school and do therapy. A couple things that I'm involved in. I'm also involved in campus connections. I think all of our officers that we have here for you today have done campus connections. A few questions about that. And I am also in the university honors program.
Hi everyone, my name's Alondra. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I have a concentration in clinical and counseling, and I plan to attend graduate school to become a therapist as well. My interests in that field are minority populations, so looking at that through a psychological lens. And yeah.
Cool. I guess I can add too that I'm interested in going to grad school for IO psychology. I want to do consulting, so that's my goal. And then I think that's all we have for our officers today, I believe. Yes. Okay, so I'll just quickly introduce our other officers as well. So Sydney is our treasurer and fundraising chair. She's actually a business major and she has a concentration in marketing and international business. So that's pretty cool. And then Ian is our secretary. He also has a clinical counseling concentration. And I believe Ian wants to do therapy. Don't quote me on that, what everyone's goals are, but Claudia is our College of Natural Sciences rep. So she's a concentration in IO psychology. And then Marcella, she is our service chair and she has a clinical counseling concentration in psychology. Okay, and now our advisors. So Carla is here if you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Carla Gingrich, and I've been Psi Chi advisor kind of off and on for a long time now. And I did my degrees in counseling psychology, and I teach classes like psychology of the individual in context, and I sort of oversee the general psychology course. And yeah, Psi Chi advising is really fun for me. I don't know what else you want to know. Is that enough?
That's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and so Kate and Sam are our other advisors, and all three of them are great. They really give us like free reign to kind of do whatever we want, but give their input when it's like important, and they just are really good at guiding us and making sure that we want to accomplish or that we are accomplishing all the goals that we want to accomplish. So shout out to our advisors. I don't know if you guys want to add anything, Zane and Emily.
I don't think so. I mean, you touched on it. They're amazing, and we're so lucky to have them as our advisors.
Yes, I agree. All right, so next slide. So now we're going to kind of talk about what we've done in the past, some of our highlights. So last year we did a psychological thriller night. We were able to host this on campus because COVID was not an issue. We did it in the BSB, and we played Silence of the Lambs like on that huge projector in one of the main lecture rooms. So that was really fun. We've also hosted a graduate student panel where students can ask current grad students at CSU about their experiences as psych grad students. So that's always really beneficial. We've done Cans Around the Oval for several years. We placed fourth last year, and we also have participated a lot in fall cleanup. So here's a picture from our psychological thriller night last year. We had a really good turnout. There was a lot of food, a lot of snacks. It was a really good time.
It was awesome. I do want to go back really quick. So I did get an email this morning from Cans Around the Oval. So we did participate in Cans Around the Oval again this semester, and I am happy to announce that we placed 5th in our category, so we will get an honorable mention. We were able to donate about $150, which is the equivalent to about 300 pounds, or I should say 300 meals for those in our community with food insecurities. So shout out to everyone who donated. We're super thankful for that. But I just wanted to put a plug in for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, okay, cool. Thanks, Zane. So here we have Anders Eriksson. He was another one of our guest speakers. He talked about expertise, and that was very, very interesting. We've also had a forensic psychologist come in, Dr. Elizabeth Sather. She talked about her experiences in her field, which was also a great talk. And I believe it's on YouTube, and you can find the link to that video on our website if you're interested. That was one of my personal favorites. And then we also had the former Psi Chi president, Sam Swain, come and talk about perfectionism. So that was really cool to hear, just kind of how she overcame that kind of detrimental state of mind that she had around perfectionism. Sorry, my throat. And then we've also done a couple of things during the pandemic. Obviously, we haven't been able to do all that we wanted to do just because obvious regulations and things being closed and social distancing laws and all that. So things that we have done a psychology trivia night. So that's the picture here on the left. It was a lot of fun. Zane did a great job. He made like a entire, what was the website called? It was like a Kahoot.
Yeah, it was similar to Kahoot. It's called Quizzes. It was super, super fun. We also, Emily was able to get prizes from the bookstore for those who placed in the top 5. So we had prizes, and it was just a super fun night.
Yeah, it was really fun. And yeah, like so many good prizes. So we should definitely do that again in the future. We've also had a grad panel over Zoom, and that was really beneficial, I think. Again, those grad students just came and talked about their experience, kind of the process and what grad school will look like. So always good things to hear if that's something that you're interested in. Oh my goodness, there we go. Okay, so we have more things that we are planning on doing. So these are all for this semester. So the first thing that's coming up is our psychological thriller night, our second annual. So that will be this Thursday, the 29th at 7 p.m. And that will be on Zoom because we can't obviously do it in person due to COVID, as I've said. And then after that, we have another member meeting that will be on November 4th at 4 p.m. So we'll be going over just kind of upcoming events and things like that. We'll also have a guest speaker, Julie Prosser, on November 5th. And I believe Julie Prosser is talking about serial killers. Is that correct? Okay, so that will be a really interesting talk. We'll also be doing a personal statement workshop with mugs. That's a really big component with applying to grad school. So we thought it would be really beneficial for people who are kind of starting that process. That will be Thursday, November 12th at 3 p.m. We'll be doing Psi Chi inductions on November 19th at 5:30. We don't have a lot of the details hashed out on that yet, but there will be more details to come. And we'll be also having a guest speaker in December, Michelle Ferris. That will be at 11 a.m. on December 3rd. And all of these links and QR codes are up on our website, I believe. And it looks like Zane is sending the QR code for the psychological thriller night.
Yes, I'm attaching, in order of these events on this PowerPoint, I'm attaching the Zoom link, meeting ID, as well as the QR code for each of these events. So if you are interested, copy and paste these or save the QR codes for your reference. Again, as Sophia said, our psychological thriller night is this Thursday. So keep that in a place that's accessible to you if you'd like to join us for that.
Yes, and we do have all of this stuff up on our website too. So if you don't jot everything down or if you get them mixed up or something, we do have other other places that you can access this. So if you want to take a picture of this super quick, I'll let you guys do that if you'd like. Okay. So moving on, now we're going to do more of our Q&A portion of the presentation. So any questions that you guys have for us about really anything, it can be Psi Chi, PSA, stuff about like our interests, if you have questions about that. Yeah.
And even questions about the application process as well. We kind of didn't include slides detailing that. So if you are interested, I can definitely explain the Psi Chi application process, and Emily could also explain the PSA application process. This year we tried to make it a little bit simpler, or as simple as we could. And so what the Psi Chi application looks like is about 2 parts. So we had the first part includes sending us your unofficial transcript on a Google form. And from there, we will look at it, make sure you meet all those requirements that were on the first slide. That you have 45 credits at least, 9 are psychology courses, you have a 3.4 GPA, and from there, then I will send you directions and the link to complete part 2, which includes applying on the national website, and then also paying those local chapter dues. Unfortunately, we can only take the local chapter dues in person, so it's cash or check at our office. If you have any circumstances where you're not on campus or unable to do that, please email me and we could definitely figure something out. And from there, once you pay those local chapter dues, I email Carla and say, hey, you can approve this person, and then she approves you, and then you will get a link with, or you will get an email with a link to pay the national dues. Again, the national dues are $55, and you can pay that via credit card.
Yeah, so also if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I know it can be kind of intimidating to speak out loud, so feel free to do that as well.
I had a question for like Psi Chi. I'm a freshman this year, so I can't join yet. But for the GPA, if your GPA falls below a 3.4, are you kicked out or like put on probation, or like what does that look like?
Yeah, so I'm going to try and answer your question as best as I can, but let me know if it's not helpful, or if you want me to clarify anything. So within Psi Chi, when you apply, we take a look at your GPA, and that is when we approve you into being in Psi Chi for that lifetime membership. And possibly Carla might be able to respond to the being kicked out or on probation. I don't know if that is a thing, but Carla might be able to provide some more information on that.
So Piper, is the question, do you mean once you're in, let's say you're in and you had a 3.4 and then your GPA drops lower than that? Is that what your question is? What happens?
Yeah, like what if your
Yeah.
GPA drops below?
Yeah, no, once you're in, you're in. So if you have a 3.4 at the time that you're admitted, then we never check GPAs again. We sort of assume, I think, that you're doing well and you're going to keep doing well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question.
It also looks like we have a question in the chat here asking what the main difference between Psi Chi and PSA is, and just that Psi Chi is a National Honor Society. The main difference, I would say, is that distinction that you are part of a National Honor Society. For Psi Chi, you are a member of that organization for the rest of your life. So that's an opportunity that you have to, you know, put on applications, on your CV, things like that. But they both put on, we work together as a team to put on the same events. No matter which one you're a part of, you're going to be able to attend all of our events that we put on.
Exactly. Thank you for touching on that, Emily. I do also want to mention with Psi Chi, as a member of that honor society, you get lots of benefits or opportunities such as scholarships or maybe talks that the national office is hosting. newsletters, articles, those kinds of things also comes along with being in Psi Chi. But again, like Emily said, we really are two in the same. We work together for everything. Yeah, thank you all for your great questions. Any more questions that we can help answer? Are there any questions about maybe running for an officer position if you're interested? Awesome. Let's see. Sophia, did you, sorry, my screen kind of went all weird. Did you stop sharing? Oh, there we go. Okay.
No, it should be up, I think.
Okay. If you want to maybe go to the website and kind of show them how to navigate it, maybe explain like where the Apply Now tab is and kind of go through that. We could probably walk through our website with them if you are comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I can do that. There is a question in the chat asking if we can share this PowerPoint. We can just upload it on the website. I think that would be the easiest thing to do.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Also, I do want to mention that this is being recorded as well. So, and this is just for those who aren't able to make it to this session today. We can provide this video for those who are interested but unable to make it. So this recording will be available on the psychology department advising on their end as well as on our end on our website.
And if you also send me the PowerPoints, I can include those too through the Canvas advising portal.
Sounds good. Before we move on to the website, we do have another question from Raven. Being a first semester CSU student, I was not able to join Psi Chi, but I filled out the application for PSA and haven't heard about how to pay. Don't know if I'm a part of it at this point. Is there a way to clarify involvement?
I can take that one, Zane. So our application for PSA is sort of 2 points. On that application, there was a part about paying. So I can put a couple emails that would be great for you to reach out to. Basically, the next step is for you to email us so that we can set up a time to pay. So that's a good question. If you have filled out that application and haven't heard back, please reach out to us so that we can schedule that time. So I'm going to put my email as well as our joint email account in there, and then we can schedule a time.
I think we lost Emily. Oh, are you back?
I'm back. I think my internet's not being good. Let me put those emails in the chat.
Thank you for doing that, Emily.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. And these are all great questions. We welcome any question. No questions are bad questions. We're super happy to answer any of them. But Emily will put those emails in the chat, and then I'll have Sophia go ahead and share the screen for our website so you can kind of take a look at what that looks like.
There's another question.
Oh.
I can read it. It says, I'm a transfer student, so I don't have CSU GPA yet, but I'm interested in joining Psi Chi. Should I join PSA now or just wait until next semester to join Psi Chi?
Yes, thank you for catching that, Alondra. That is a wonderful question, and this is a very common question we have. Unfortunately for Psi Chi, we do have to have that CSU GPA since we are the CSU chapter. So once you have completed this first semester or so of courses, and once you get a CSU GPA, then you can apply to PSA. But in the meantime, we definitely welcome joining PSA in the meantime. Or did I say Psi Chi? Sorry. Once you get a CSU GPA, then you can apply to Psi Chi. But in the meantime, we do welcome you joining PSA if you are interested. And then working your way up to Psi Chi. We have many, many students who do follow that path of first joining PSA to get involved and then eventually joining Psi Chi. I hope that answers your question. Okay. rows.
Okay. I'm gonna reshare my screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Can everybody see the website? Okay, so this is what it will look like when you go to psychi.collegestate.edu. So at the top, we kind of have our main tabs, and our homepage just has a lot of information about upcoming events or anything that's kind of current. So right now we have our most recent event that's coming up. So we have the QR code for the psychological thriller night. I love this poster, by the way. I think Emily made it. So great poster, Emily. And then there's also a message from Zane and Emily talking about PSA and Psi Chi, I believe. You guys did it for the College of Natural Sciences, I believe.
Yes, we did. We made like a little info video for the College of Natural Sciences. Yes.
Cool. So that's on there. We also have all the links to our social media. So we have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram, and a Twitter. The Twitter has like a whole live thing, which is pretty cool. And then we also have our newsletters. So each month we send out a newsletter, just kind of recapping the previous month and informing you guys of the events that are going to be upcoming. So those are down there as well. We have the Apply Now tab. So there's instructions for how to apply to both Psi Chi and PSA. So they're very detailed steps. You can just go through these and read through how to apply. I won't go too much into it now unless anyone really wants me to. We can definitely do that. And then we have an office hours tab. Obviously, we can't really host office hours just because of COVID, because not a lot of people are on campus. So we're just doing them by appointment right now. We have a tab for our officer team, just everyone's information, emails if you want to reach out to any of us. We have a tab for our meetings and events. So our upcoming events are here, all the QR codes. And then on the top, we have our most recent member meeting. So if you had missed that meeting and you want a recap of it, that's up here. And then, are these our upcoming events? Or these, no, these were past events.
Yeah, so it's for all of fall
Mm.
2020. So past events up from August up until now, and then all the ones with QR codes are from now until the end of the semester.
Perfect. Thank you. And then we have a gallery. So this is just where we have all of our pictures. Kind of fun, kind of cute. We had a little holiday party last year. It was a lot of fun. We did like a decompress week before finals. We did some yoga, some art. We also showed a movie. So we have pictures from those, guest speakers, our induction, lots of food at the induction. So yeah, and then Dr. Sather's talk is up on the website here. And then more October events, Ram Welcome. So just a little fun thing. We like to take pictures and keep everyone up to date on what we're doing. So yeah, that's our website.
Thank you for sharing that, Sophia. As all of you saw, we try to post as much as we can on our website. But also, if Sophia also wants to share that last slide with all of our social medias, feel free to follow us. That is where you will get all the most up-to-date information on upcoming events, all of that good stuff. So give us a follow if you'd like, and definitely check out our website. That's where you can find everything. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email the Psi Chi email, as well as any of the officers. Our emails are also on the website under the officer tab. But again, in the meantime, are there any further questions that we can answer for any of you?
This is just like a fun question to get to like know you guys better, but I noticed that a lot of you had a concentration in clinical and counseling, and I'm declaring my concentration in clinical and counseling my sophomore year. And I was just like wondering, what was your favorite class out of that like concentration course? Or like what was the class you found most interesting?
I can start, and then I
Yeah.
think Zane will probably go because we're both going that route. So I loved abnormal psych. That class was super fun, but I'm kind of taking my first class that really does pertain to my major right now, which is basic counseling skills with Dr. Richards, who's here with us today. And that's really exciting because it's like my first deep dive into what I actually might be doing for the rest of my life. So those are two good classes if that's what you're interested in.
That's very
Alondra.
kind. You didn't have to say that just because I'm here.
Alondra, why don't you go ahead and go next?
I'm actually gonna go ahead and say that basic counseling skills was probably one of my favorite classes, just because what Emily said, it was like the first class that really I got like hands-on training and get to learn more about it. And that's when I realized that I would love to do this in the future. So yeah, not because Dr. Richards is here, but just because it was genuinely my favorite class.
Yeah, I have I am going to say you know it. But I actually have two that kind of are the two classes that I feel like I've gotten the most out of. The first being the Psych 330, the clinical counseling psychology class. I was fortunate enough to take that in person with Dr. Rosine, which was amazing. He is going into transitional retirement, but I'm so thankful I was able to have that experience with him, because that is the class I feel like I realized what I wanted to do, and I realized that clinical counseling is the field I want to go into and how I can get there from here. And then again, basic counseling skills, I feel like those are vital skills that I am working on. For me personally, I kind of realized, going into clinical counseling, I was like, I'm a helper, I'm good at helping, I'm good, and then after taking this class, it's like, no, you still need to work on yourself. There's many skills you still need to work on for the rest of your life, not just before you get to grad school, not just before you become licensed. It's skills that you're going to be working on throughout your entire career. And so those are very valuable skills that I am learning and working on myself this semester. So that's kind of my take on that. And great question, by the way.
Just to piggyback off of what Zane said, if you are interested in a helping profession or something similar to what, Zane, Alondra, and I were saying, I would really recommend getting involved in like an officer position or a TA position and see if you love having that experience of getting to help other people. And then obviously when you start taking all those classes, you can apply them to all those times in your university experience where you are working with other people. You can get that sort of well-rounded experience. And of course, if you're interested in clinical counseling, I would recommend the Campus Connections program too, because it's a really great way as an undergraduate to get some hands-on clinical practice.
I see a question in the chat that says, are there officer positions open for this semester / next semester? So great question. Most of us, I believe almost all of us except Emily and Sydney, are seniors and will be graduating either in December or in the spring. So I know Sophia, unfortunately, will be leaving us in December. So that position will be opening up. We're still trying to navigate how we want to go about that, with elections possibly before December, or maybe just filling in her position until we can get to the spring. We will hold elections in the spring semester. Something that Carla Gingrich and I and the other officers have talked about were maybe holding early elections, so that way we can have those positions filled, and the people who are going to be in those positions can shadow us to know how we do things. Obviously, you don't want to do things exactly like us. Be creative with this position, but just kind of see how things work. I feel like those of us who are officers now may have just been in the position and not really known exactly what to do. And we want to provide you with as much information as you can take in about how to run Psi Chi and PSA, and maybe how to get a guest speaker, how to host events, and especially now, how have we been holding virtual events? So we definitely will be holding elections early in the spring. Um, that way we can get people in those positions and kind of guide you on how to make it work next year. You're welcome. And if you are interested, definitely reach out to one of us and let us know that you're interested, and we'll keep you in the back of our head and when election time does come around. Are there any other questions that you have? I mean, that Piper had a great question that was super fun. If any of you have any of those fun questions as well, feel free to ask them.
I have more questions actually. Have any of you guys like done internships like connected to your major? And if so, like, can you kind of like talk about that experience of like doing coursework, but also having to do like an internship?
I can go. I can talk about mine. So I got an internship this past summer. It was with a charter school in Harlem, New York. And so it actually ended up working out because I couldn't afford to live in New York for the summer. But it ended up going virtual, so I was able to do the internship still. So that was really helpful for me. And I was just studying for the GRE over the summer, so I didn't really have that much trouble with balancing coursework or anything like that. So I'll definitely let someone else who might have had an internship like during the semester kind of elaborate more on that. But it was a really good experience. And I know you're more interested in clinical and counseling, but I learned a lot about like professional development and like how to do performance appraisals and evaluations on employees. And I got to sit in on all of their trainings and um, do stuff like that. And so that was really beneficial for me. It kind of helped me hone down like things that I want to do in IO psychology. And my manager was really good about tailoring the internship to me and my interests. So yeah, that was my experience.
Alondra, do you want to? Okay.
Yeah, I can go next. I was actually in an internship this summer as well. I was at the Child Trauma Assessment Center here at CSU. It's actually in the Gifford building, but this summer unfortunately had to go virtual. But yeah, I learned so much from it. I was able to get a lot of hands-on training and experience. Even though it was virtual, it was still really interesting to find like physically get to like experience how like a therapy session like works with children. So that was really interesting, and it made me realize that I could potentially like want to work with children as well. So that was another big part. And I learned how to transcribe. I learned how to read assessments. So that was really interesting. And Zane was actually in the same internship, so he wants to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thanks, Alondra. That internship, as Alondra said, was virtual in the summer. However, I was able to do one in-person assessment on the very last day of our internship, which was super awesome. I was behind a screen working with these kids, and finally I was able to be in person talking with the kiddo that I was working with. And they were super open to letting us talk. Normally they would just have us transcribe everything between the clinician and the client, but they really allowed us to talk with the client, ask them questions, get to know them as well. And that internship for me was one of the best experiences I've had in my academic career so far, because I just learned so much about the clinical experience and the clinical side of things. And I also learned a lot about myself, and I was able to work on myself a lot this summer. And I know that sounds super cheesy, but it really was an eye-opening experience for me, to learn more about myself and accept myself for who I am, and maybe work with myself on certain things. Learning that the best parts of you are also the worst parts of you, and that's okay. And how do you navigate that and work with those components of your life? So it was amazing. It really was. But there's also many different opportunities and companies you can work with. If you're not interested in working with children, like in C-Track, there's the Matthews House, Boys and Girls Club, tons and tons of opportunities in the community that you can work with, if you have a specific population in mind that you're interested in.
Thank you for answering that.
Of course, great question. Um, Before we end, I know we probably have just a few minutes left. Before we get to the prizes part, I'll let Tracy explain the prizes. I do just want to say it is important to get involved on campus, and that's something that we as Psi Chi and PSA really want to foster. Despite being virtual, we want to have that community, and that is why we are working so hard to plan these events for you all, um, so you can get the most out of this semester. Even if it is behind a screen. But again, going back to what I'm saying is it's so important to get involved. And even if you choose to go a different route than Psi Chi and PSA, just get involved. And I can't stress that enough, because it really made the difference in my life of getting involved on campus. And I feel like that's how you make those connections with different professors, as well as find out many opportunities to maybe even do internships in the community. So just really get involved. That's my last piece of advice that I have for you all, is to just get involved. Are there any other additional input that any officers or maybe Carla want to put in before we move on to the prize component of the Psychology Welcome Week? Awesome. Well, I'm going to hand it over to Tracy, and then we'll go ahead and close up the meeting.
Perfect. What you just said, Zane, is perfect in the way that our intention this week is to work on building community. We miss seeing you all in our hallways and being able to connect and drop in and have virtual, real office hours. And so this is our effort to try and stay connected or get connected if you might be new to CSU or new to the psychology department. So I'm actually glad that this Psi Chi and PSA event is happening early in the week, because if you've heard anything during this meeting that you'd now like to learn more about, the rest of this week is perfect for you. So in fact, this afternoon we have a panel with faculty members, one of our advisors, and a student who has been involved in undergraduate research. So it'd be a great opportunity for you to come and learn about, when we all say get connected with research, they'll tell you a little bit more about that process and how to, with a couple different faculty members telling you about their research program. So that's at 4 o'clock today. Everything's being posted through the advising Canvas shell. So check there for the latest with the Zoom links and the times and all of that. Meet and greet tomorrow with faculty, a bunch of different faculty from 12 to 2. Would love to see you there for that. It's very informal. We'll have different breakout rooms available for you to meet with those faculty members. A failure panel tomorrow afternoon. So come and hear from different faculty. Dr. Gingrich has agreed to do that one, but I'm sure she had to dig kind of deep to find something that would fit for a failure. I've worked with her for a long time, so I can say that. We'll have a career panel and graduate school stuff on Thursday, and then that movie night. We do have some faculty members that are planning to attend. I was able to post Dr. Rojas's introductory video for this week, and he has made a commitment to come to the movie night. So he will be there, might not be there for the viewing part, but will be there for the discussion. So if you haven't had an opportunity to meet him or interact with him, you could do that at movie night. We know that at this point in the semester, we're all feeling very high levels of fatigue. So we also get that with this event this week. So we're incentivizing with prizes. So if you would like to have your name entered for for this event, please go ahead and take a moment to type your first and last name into the chat. That will tell us that you want to be entered into that drawing. There are two different things that you're being entered into. One would be a drawing for those who have attended this event. We're doing CSU merchandise, hats, water bottles, mugs, t-shirts, bags, things like that. We will do the drawing next week, and then we'll reach out to you to let you know if you've won, and we'll coordinate how to get the prize to you. But then also, by entering your name into the chat today, what it does is it provides you an entry into our raffle, our grand prize raffle for the week, which is a pair of AirPods Pro. You get an entry into that raffle for every event that you attend this week. So the more events you attend, the greater your chances to win. So those are the two things that I'm here looking for today, or I guess the one thing is your name, but those are the two prizes that you would be eligible for. We appreciate you being here for sure. Zane, Emily, all of you for doing this. This is great.
Thank you. And thank you all for showing up. Again, we really appreciate it. And we're super happy that you're interested in Psi Chi and PSA. Again, all of the information is found in the chat. So I'm not going to close the meeting just yet. If you want to copy that Zoom link down, or download that QR code, or maybe even copy the emails down, feel free to do so now. Otherwise, we hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. And thank you all for coming.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.